Great stuff. Here we go then. Friday, so part 5 of the body part training series. Split it up into 5 different body parts, 5 different sections to give time to go through each one. And overall, we're going to put this into a plan and split it up in different ways that might be appropriate for you to train either now while you're training at home, or to train back in the gym in a similar sort of style. And it's going to depend on how many sessions a week you're going to be able to do and how you would separate it out to get that stimulation, roughly around the right number of sets across the week on each different body part. Now, saved arms till the end. Bit of a day for doing arms usually towards the back end of the week, partly because they are more of a smaller muscle group. Often they might be also trained alongside another main muscle group, so quite a common modality of doing it is chest and triceps, because the triceps are a supporting muscle with pushing movements, with chest movements. Another modality of doing it is back and biceps. Some people flip that round. Personally, I like to do it as the secondary part when the muscles have already been worked. So if in a split routine, including arms on the days with other muscle groups, I do chest and triceps and back and biceps together. Other methods, 3 days a week, might mean that you wait until the 3rd day to focus more on the arms and bring it in. That's one of the principles of my higher frequency training program, where you've got days, body parts put together in different ways, and then on the 3rd kind of day, potentially Friday or Saturday, you do some more direct arm training as part of that workout. So I'm going to talk through some of the principles that I would use around that, and if it might be that you just do a dedicated arm session. Now, potentially it might be your shortest session, because if we're thinking about doing 3 or 4 exercises on a main body part, probably need to go and you can get away with 2 or 3 on an isolated body part because of the other stimulation that they get when training other muscle groups. You can't really train any part of your upper body without some sort of stimulation going to your biceps or triceps. If you're rowing, if you're pulling, your biceps are getting activated. If you are pushing, your triceps are getting activated in some way, and then other moves you kind of feel there, and they don't necessarily fit into the push-pull category, particularly when you're doing shoulders, things like that. You might feel the biceps or triceps working that little bit more, depending on what you're doing. I think that was the cat. Anyway, so in a sense, you could probably cut down the number of sets you actually need for your arms, except for, in a lot of people's minds, they want to work the arms really well because they want arms to look good, fill out a t-shirt, cut down the bingo wings, and yeah, really improve the shape and composition of the arms. Go back to the kind of bingo wings analogy, that's generally more prevalent in ladies. It's just one of those things physiologically where ladies with body fat storage, one of the places it might store is more so on the arms. So therefore, they might think, I'm going to work my arms that bit more, a little bit like the adductors and the lower body movements to tone and burn the body fat around the legs. It doesn't really work like that so much. It's good to train arms in a complete system, as in the whole body as a system. We cover it during the week, but actually in terms of the actual exercises targeting actual fat loss in that area, it's not going to do that much. And then that being said, as well, with the muscle groups in the arms being fairly small, more is not going to increase that potential. It's just actually going to fatigue them more. So you're better off across a week, across the training plan, focusing more on the big compound movements, using more muscle, burning more calories during the session to use those larger muscle groups with the arms supporting if you're working the upper body, and then focusing on doing some arm work as necessary to improve your other lifting. So you can go down to maybe 2 to 3 exercises for biceps and triceps, and it doesn't need to take that long. So if it is part of another day, chest day to tricep with triceps, three exercises on the end of a chest day, maybe even in a group in a giant set or a tricep, that'll pretty much cover it. Same with biceps on a back day, 2 or 3 exercises. You know, those 9 sets of working the muscles is going to be enough, considering they've already done the work with the pushing movements or the pulling movements as well. One thing I like to do quite often is what I call compound arms exercises. Now, strictly a curl or tricep push down is an isolated movement. You're only moving from the elbow, you're moving across one joint so that makes it an isolated movement. I'd like to get a little bit more work in, particularly if we're focusing on body composition in terms of fat loss and weight loss, because actually doing more work with other exercises that will target the triceps or biceps that little bit more because of the positioning and the angles and hand positions that we do with weights is going to be more beneficial for those goals and still target working into those areas. So for instance, if we go to biceps first, flipping any row type of movement into an underhand position is going to activate the biceps that little bit more. Equally, any pulling movement coming down or pulling yourself up in an underhand position is going to activate the biceps that little bit more. And I've seen studies that say actually one of the best movements for biceps is actually the close grip pull down coming down in front, because you've got an elongated position at the top of the bicep where it attaches into the shoulder joint, and then you're extending and contracting from the elbow as well. So for me, that is one of the exercises I would probably include on a arms dedicated day or a workout that was more focused around arms, such as a compound arms workout. Training at home, if you've got some bands, you might be able to hook them up somewhere and get that going. Some people might have a TRX, you can actually do an underarm kind of row towards you and get that bicep action working a bit more. You might be able to find a bar to get underneath and row towards the bar in underhand position. Not going to be that common to be able to do that. So we'll focus on using what we've got, and the same could be used with dumbbells or kettlebells now, bar if you've got access to that. And in an underhand position, we're going to go down to that bent over row position that we've used before, dropping in, and we're going to row up. And if the weight's not that heavy, we're going to have a little squeeze at the top. So you can see in that position, we're bent over and we're squeezing up. We're going to be getting that back work, and the biceps are going to work really hard as well. Just do that from the side, squeeze up and down. We can actually do that one at a time, as in bring them both up. So we're getting that longer hold. Particularly if the weight we've got is not that heavy, we're going to create that longer stimulation, that longer contraction from having holds in those positions. So that is a way of working through the back, working more muscle as you are starting to target the arms. Then we've got the isolated movements, different positions for the curls. Now, you can't train the biceps in different sections as you go up and down the arm, but you can have an effect on the muscles that are working in terms of the angle of the position relative to the body being closer or wider out. Working with dumbbells, you're going to have to push that out and move that in just from your arm position, which is why I quite like to start with quite a wide dumbbell position, coming out to the sides and then curling up, so the hands stay outside the shoulders. Then we can bring that in into a tighter position. From there, one we utilise quite a lot is the hammer curl, and the hammer curl is great, particularly if you're looking to have the biceps looking at a better shape, because it's the biceps, bi meaning two, consists of the main bicep on the top that we can see the most, and the brachiolus underneath, and that runs from actually from the wrist all the way up and under. Improve the strength, therefore potentially the size of that as well. Actually your biceps going to start to lift up that little bit more because of the muscle underneath is bigger and pushing the other one above out a bit more. So that's why hammer curls are great. Hip position can help with all the curls. You just drop ever so slightly. So just dropping my hips ever so slightly, even a little split stance, keeping that nice and stable, and then really using the arms and not getting much movement in the body. Also a really good thing to do if your weights aren't that heavy, because then you can slow things right down, keep it all nicely in control. You can take this to a compound movement as well. So once again, the bent over row, and you can squeeze up with the hand position being knuckles down. That's your rows, and then up to the hammer curls. Or if the weights are fairly heavy, flip it round the other way. Isolated work and then into a compound move. Another variation used quite a lot, this is quite good with the dumbbells, is actually a really close contraction coming across the body, squeezing up. So So we're not going to get the bicep very high, as in get the dumbbell very high, but we're going to get a good contraction, cross body curl. Another method that a friend of mine, who's a guy I train with as well, coach a bit, Kynan, got me onto, is when we get to the point where we can't really be doing any more reps with both arms together, then switch to single sides. Because as one's curling, the other side's resting, and you're going to get those extra reps out, increase the tension, elongate the set, and that's where the extra stimulation that you need might be coming from. So moving on to triceps. Tri means three, so three different parts of the tricep. And the way to start to work the triceps across all the different lengths and parts is to think about the different positions you put your body in to then have a medium, longer, and shorter contraction. And actually it can come from starting lying down, it could be the floor or a bench, and starting with a skull crusher or French press type extension, and that's where we're lying down and we're coming from the elbows down. That's going to give us kind of a medium contraction. Something I quite like to put that with is doing some presses afterwards as well. So fatigue the triceps with isolated movement, then into presses, what I like to call like a block press. The elbows are tucked in still and moving up and down. In a sense, it's a similar position to a close grip press up, because the elbows are tucked in and we're getting that press there. You can even extend it to three parts with the extension, the block press or quite a close press, and then out into a normal press. So let's take through that. Actually, lying back with these, arms are up, and we're having that space between them so we can get the dumbbells tucked in around the head, and then squeezing up. So that's actually kind of a medium length contraction, medium length stretch, and back up for the triceps. Working maybe 10 to 12, 15 reps there, then into a block press. Our chest is going to work, get involved here, so we can then keep on pressing, keep on working the triceps. Once we've done a good number of reps there, we can take it out again into the chest press or the A press, and keeping on working. All the time we're pressing, the triceps are getting to work hard as well. Next position, we can do two dumbbells, one dumbbell up and overhead, and you see now we can go right down behind the head. My triceps are extended or stretched as far as they can, and then we're extending back up. So we're taking them from an elongated position into a contracted position. So that's the second lengthening movement we want to get for the triceps. Then finally, use these quite a lot as well, getting into the kickback sort of movement, almost like I often describe it as, I used to watch Ski Sunday on BBC Two on a Sunday afternoon, and you're looking for that kind of big ski push off in a controlled manner. So bent over, elbows draw up, and we're squeezing back. Now that's a short movement, that's a short contraction. So now we're working the triceps in the shortened position and squeezing back. It works, this one, in the actual contraction at the top. It's not the movement, it's the contraction, it's the shortening, the contracting part there that does the work. So theoretically, we could put the lying, the overhead standing, and then the shortening, kickback all together in a tricep. That's going to be a thorough workout for the triceps, getting all the different positions. We can also do things like bring in the bands. If you've got using one dumbbell and someone put it to pass you the band, hook it round or something, you can add that extra tension. Or I've got all my DJing stuff out today, record boxes out, that's really nice and heavy. So being able to anchor the band down, and if I now can get my arms, because the band's anchored, into that really good position there to work the triceps in that skull crusher, French press type position. I can, with the right length of band, work overhead. I just want to hook this over one heel, work it up and round, and then I can work that up and over, up nice and high. say if you can get into position, you can add the bands and the biceps, the bands and the dumbbells or the kettlebell together at the same time. You can actually hook quite nicely around a kettlebell because of the handle. And then the kickbacks, if we get into a position we might want to squat or actually row with the thing, with a band, we lift it up, then we can squeeze back. We can get that good squeeze. See, that's a double looped band there. If we just have it single looped, get the right sort of tightness, so we can do the same thing, lift it up, squeeze back. We're going to get that band coming across in front of us, but that's okay, we actually focus on the contraction at the back. So, just to summarise then, 2-3 exercises, 3 is probably good for biceps and triceps, thinking about the different angles and positions we can work it in, and can we combine some compound movements as well to increase the work we're doing across the whole body through the workout, if we're particularly thinking about fat burning, calorie burn, getting that energy in, energy out balance right for changing body composition in terms of fat loss and weight loss. So, I'm going to take all these 5 different parts that we've done, and the great thing about training is there is so much variety of exercises, and the plan that I put together is going to be based upon what we've done, and that's not to say there's not other exercises that could be put in, but mostly they're variations upon variations. So it's finding the right ones that work for you, putting that plan together, and in some cases having more than one plan as circumstances change week to week, month to month for you. So you might be training 4 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, other times twice a week, other times, and it's putting those plans together to be able to get the workouts done, keep progressing, and do it in the number of days that you've got available. So that's what this plan is going to be all about for now, in terms of training at home if you've got dumbbells, and also moving back into the gym when the time comes and we can do that. So that'll be coming out over the weekend into next week for you. If you'd like it put it into a more personalised plan, please give me a shout. Really happy to do that, and take it from there with that. So finish up Friday night, it's really good. Music's going to go back on, barbecue's happening, so I hope you have a really good Friday evening. Don't forget boot camp tomorrow morning, 9:30 AM over on the Facebook page, and we'll see you then.